It's Monster Watch.
Two of them across the creek at the big rocks.
Monster. Oh my god, I didn't even know I could make that sound. That was upsetting a little bit, actually, but Monster Watch. I've never done one.
That's so exciting. Monster Watches are fun. I love cryptids. Did you watch the new Unsolved Mysteries?
Yes.
Did you watch the Mothman episode?
Yes. I can't believe we haven't talked about this already.
He's back?
Also, I had nightmares about the Body in the Basement episode, so we might have to talk about that another time.
A lot of blood in that basement.
I was not well after that. Okay. I am talking about today a monster that is from right here in California that I did not know about. But I mean, it's not like in Culver City. It's not like nearby, but still, I had never heard of this one. This is the Billiwhack Monster.
The Billiwhack. That sounds like it would be like from Scotland or something.
1000%. Right? I'm like, are you related to Nessie? I don't know what's going on, but I also want to say like Billiwhack Monster. Billiwhack. I feel like it also gives like King of the Hill. I don't know. I'm feeling it all.
Bobby, get that Billiwhack out of here. So I assume there's an H in there. Billiwhack. Billiwhack.
Yes, that was so good. Bobby, the Billiwhack Monster.
Sunny California.
Is it real? Is it not? We're gonna talk about it. But as the story goes, there is a tall, muscular, ape-like humanoid with long claws, gray hair, and ram-like horns on top of its head that lurks around the area of Santa Paula in Ventura County.
That's Satan.
Now, I just said a lot of things. Basically, I was describing the devil.
Yeah.
But I think it's because, like, as I'll talk about a little bit, but most sightings, like, have similar behaviors, I guess, which is what, and like similar locations, which is why people think it's the same monster. But like half of the people are saying, oh, it was a ram and I saw like the hooves. And then other people are like, no, it was like an ape with claws. So like everybody just kind of combined it over the years. And I was like, oh, that's just the devil. But here we are. Santa Paula. So this ram-headed monster is in the area known as the Camulos Ranch. That is its main home, and it has been encountered on Aliso Canyon Road and occasionally Wheeler Canyon Road near what was once the Billiwhack Dairy and Ranch.
Are you kidding me? We got another ranch on our hands?
Nobody ever buy a ranch. Nobody moved to a ranch.
Sick of these ranches.
Sick of these ranches. And some stories attribute the location of its nest as being closer to Wheeler Canyon Road, but most state that it lives in the dairy and the ranch specifically. So again, there's going to be a lot of times where I'm like, here's a general area. There's differing stories, but like all kind of centering around this old dairy. So it's referred to as the Billiwhack Monster. This creature has been known to torment mostly high school students from Santa Paula High School. Those are most of the witnesses. But then as time went on, some more adults started talking about it as well. But like when it's high school kids, that's when you're kind of like urban legend. But also teenagers are known to do the dumbest shit. So like, of course you're going to encounter something.
Yeah. Also, you let me know when I'm in the clear to throw out a theory.
Okay. I was like, let's go in a little more and then I want to hear it. Because I always love your theories, but okay. So, teenagers are the primary people who have encountered the half goat, half ape, half whatever creature.
Bird, apparently. It's got a nest.
Maybe a bird.
Platypus.
It has been known to throw very large objects as big as 50-pound rocks at vehicles.
Bigfoot.
Pounded on hoods of cars, leaving huge dents. And it has been known to carry around a large club at times. In the 50s, there was a 9-year-old boy who reported being attacked and clawed at by a weird animal near the Billiwhack Dairy. He had scratches across his arms and his back, and like he was 9. And so he's coming home saying like, it's this big creature. So everybody is believing this kid who has never been known to tell a lie. And at 9, that does seem like you could be like mischievous, but for the most part, I feel like you would be telling like the fear in this kid's face. I would feel like he was telling the truth. And it's so everyone's like, what is there a wolf? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, what clawed my child?
That would be terrifying to have that come like covered in scratches and just not know what was going on. And then in 1964, there was another reference to the creature when it terrorized some hikers for hours and thus made headlines in a local newspaper. And in 1964, a Los Angeles Times article reported that deputies found a young boy. This was just like a week after like the hours long terrorizing of hikers. There was a young boy carrying a sword off to slay the beast because this child was so determined to go hurt whatever had like snuck up on his family weeks prior.
Listen,
so
'twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe, all mimsy were the moorgroves and the mome raths out gray bitch, he was going to slay the Jabberwocky.
Which season was it of this show? I feel like it was early on. We sang the song, or maybe I just sang the song and you recited
I
the
had
poem.
no idea that
Beware
it was a
the
song.
Jabberwock, my son's the claws that bite the claws that catch.
Wait, the jaws that bite,
jaws
the claws that
snatch,
snatch.
that catch. Beware the jub bird and shun the
frumious
bandersnatch. He took his vorpal blade in hand.
1, 2, 1, 2, and through. Yeah.
So Ashley has solved it. This is the Jabberwock.
Also, how do we both know the Jabberwocky?
I know. I remember you bringing it up in an earlier season. I was like, other people know about this.
Other people know this poem/song. The Jabberwocky is a poem from what's the actual title? Because it's not Alice in Wonderland. Beyond the Looking Glass? Is that what it's called?
Yes, or Something Looking Glass.
Something Looking Glass.
Beyond sounds right.
Does it?
Someone will be shouting at us in their car while they're listening to this. It's fine.
Sorry, never read it.
Sorry about it. So what I love about this is, yes, like everything you're saying, like this is straight out of the poem. But like there are actual newspaper articles that can be traced back to this where I don't know if people were just trying to act out the Jabberwock in real life there was a genuine kid walking off with a sword. And it says, I don't know if it actually says sword. It was like a long blade of some sort. Right. But either way, it's like, who gave it to the kid? How did they find it? But they were determined. And that same article also reported that a woman who leased the land once had to hold off 43 monster-seeking children with a shotgun until authorities arrived. She had to call the police because it became such a sensation that like after just a few reports came in, everyone was coming to the dairy to like get a look at this thing, fight it off, or they were coming because their car had been destroyed and they really wanted to fight off the beast. So people were getting mad. It was just like the rumors were a-flying.
What year was this?
1964.
64. Okay.
I mean, in the 50s is when it all began, but 1964 is when the reports were coming out. Yeah, when the town was a-chatting. The newspaper articles had been printed. It reached the LA Times, so like it was out there.
Damn.
The Billiwhack Dairy also, according to legend, is like this decrepit ruin of what was once like state-of-the-art, very advanced, modern dairy farm. And it is known that it does have underground rooms and tunnels. And there was an explanation for this at one point that was like, oh, we have to do it to like transport this and this, like to make the dairy run better. But nobody ever got to see the underground tunnels until like it was in ruin. And then like obviously some ghost hunters and stuff went down there and they were creepy as hell. But there's all these rumors swirling of like, what would you have had to do down there? I don't know enough about dairies to speak on it, but apparently people were upset. And like, there's no reason you needed this big of creepy ass tunnels underneath.
Unless they were moonshining.
Was there a moon shining?
Unless they were moonshining.
But was there a moon shining in the tunnel? I was like, it was an underground tunnel. It was dark. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I'm saying like when it was built. I don't know if it was
Yes.
around during Prohibition.
Were they
but
moonshining?
Could have absolutely been a moonshine operation. Yeah, well, and also like there are just places in the world like St. Louis, for example. Like there's caverns and caves all underneath St. Louis because you can take one of the caves tunnels from Limp Mansion to the Limp Brewery because they would keep beer.
Okay, well, that's
they would
just
keep
cool.
beer down there. Yeah, because it would
just
stay
a good
cool.
use of a tunnel.
I know, that's a great use of a tunnel. One I wouldn't give to have a tunnel.
I would love a tunnel connecting with, I mean, like obviously the dream life would be me and Ashley live in Salem, Massachusetts, and we have tunnels
connecting our
leading to each other from our Victorian homes, and like the cats just live down there and frolic while we're
kill
busy.
the mice.
But nobody really like knew what was going on with this tunnel. So it just kind of added to the lore going on. But the dairy, just like quick brief history, the dairy was started up and run by an August Rubel who moved to Ventura County in 1922 and established the dairy in 1924. He was from Switzerland and he served in the American Field Service in France from 1917 to 1919. And the urban legend connects him to the Office of Strategic Services, or the OSS.
Yeah.
Ash.
CIA.
The precursor to the CIA. So it was known that like because he was serving overseas in some way that like he definitely transitioned into something in the US, but that's where like people start to say it's urban legend and rumors because nobody is quite sure what he did, but everyone is like, I really think he was CIA because he was so like secretive about everything he did and just like had this air about him.
But how weird is it that we have another member of the CIA or the pre-CIA that now has weird shit going on at his old dairy?
And that is another reason people are questioning the tunnels. Because he had this dairy and these secret tunnels that no one had seen but him and like his immediate family members. So it, of course, became the theory that he was underground doing a little experimenting, running the dairy during the day. And experimenting by night. What was he experimenting on?
Who was he experimenting on?
The Billiwhack Monster is apparently a product of this research. That's my theory.
Wow.
You know, I like to grab onto like the fun things to believe in. I'm like, he created this monster. Maybe he was going for something else, and this is what happened.
Okay, my theory is really fun too, and I can't wait to tell you. Go on.
Okay, I want to hear your theory now. I do think this is a good point.
My theory is, so it's like high school students, like teenagers and stuff. It's a teacher who's a shapeshifter, and this is what the show Wednesday was based off of.
I really love that theory so much, and that's why it was only high school students.
Because it was one of their teachers, and like, who wants to kill high school students more than the people that are with them every day and are not their parents and can't punish them?
Correct.
Well, we solved it.
Well, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to sign off.
It was Professor Billiwhack. No one noticed that like the most crotchety teacher at this high school, his last name was also Billiwhack.
Was Billiwhack, and they're all like, what creature is this? And like the weirdest looking dude is in the corner like, I don't know, but my name is Bill Billiwhack, and I've been waiting for my moment. I really like that theory a lot. But who knows? It could be that. It could be that he was experimenting on farm animals.
Yeah.
Underground, because he is running a dairy, so you know, has some experience, and something went awry. I don't know where the ape-like qualities come in though, but again,
who knows what he had his hands on?
OSS. He had his hands on everything. So because OSS is attached to all sorts of illegal and immoral experiments ranging from brainwashing techniques, we all know it well, uses of various drugs, and taking unsuspecting victims and experimenting on them under the guise of something else. Just studies of diseases and warfare, all of that we have discussed at length here on the podcast. Of course, with his connections in that world, everybody is assuming the worst of this guy. So good old, what's his name?
Bill
August
Billiwhack.
Ruble. I lost it for a second. Good old
Thought you were
August
talking about Bill
Ruble.
Billiwhack again.
Bill Billiwhack. But what is funny is there was, like, the OSS was started by William, like, Wild Bill or Mad Dog, whatever his name was. So I was kind of like, there is a Billy.
Wild Bill Mad Dog Billiwhack. Yeah.
I like that there is a Billy involved. It feels right. So if we're to go along with the story, which like everyone believed at this time, Rubel, after performing experiments in Ventura County, was eventually sent overseas and died mysteriously, doing secret work for the OSS in 1943. Nobody knows how he died. It was very much just like, oops, goodbye.
He's
and
gone.
No one followed up on it. No one spoke about it ever again.
Because he's still alive, because he's the Billiwhack.
Because he
Hello,
is the Billiwhack
we have
Monster.
given so many different theories. It's like, it's clearly the JABBERWOCKY. It's clearly a Wednesday scenario. It's obviously a teacher named Bill Billiwhack. It's clearly Mad
It's
Dog.
Wild Bill Mad Dog. He's alive and well.
He's alive and well to this day, living out his years in the woods surrounding the dairy.
In the woods. I know, there are so many questions, which also is what makes cryptids just
Love
so
'em.
fun and why we love them on this show. But like, the monster was seen around this area. This guy is shady AF. Nobody knows how he died, which is also shady AF. And then everybody, for the most part, thinks that the dairy and ranch were abandoned because it is like in such bad shape
Yeah.
now. And like when you drive, you know, around the exterior, obviously it's like a big gated property, but like from what you can see, it looks totally abandoned. But there are some people who believe that Rubel's wife, Mary Colgate McIsaac, which is quite a name, stayed around and remarried. She remarried some guy named Edwin, which is fact, but like people think that maybe they stuck around and like tried to carry on the experiments as best they could, or at least like try to shut things down and just get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Now that August Rubel was gone, but nobody knows that for sure. Like things were just swirling around, but I don't know if it was abandoned immediately after August left or if things continued on, because since there's different looking creatures, some people are like, okay, when Mary took over, like maybe she did things differently than August did, and then we get an ape-like creature. Like, I don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah, who's to say it's one creature and not a multitude of generations of creatures?
Like created in that dairy and then sent out to that area, and that's why it's like in that zone, and like that's why you're seeing these weird things, and they're angry and they're like, I didn't want to be made, and that's why they're pounding on cars. And then some high school students piss them off, and so there's a whole lot of things going on. But it has been, this ranch dairy, the Billiwhack Dairy, has been named as recently as 2001. It was awarded a National Historic Landmark plaque, which was very exciting. And there was a daughter, I believe, let me fact check. I think, yeah, one of the children like accepted the plaque on their behalf, since it was, you know, like way later, and like there was a little ceremony, but it like still didn't seem like anybody was staying at the dairy or had any plans to like keep it going. So I don't know, still nobody really spoke on it, and it just seems so weird that the whole family is being hush hush. But the site, in addition to the secret underground tunnel, has some orange trees around it, multiple buildings, and an aviary that was built originally to the house by August Rubel's wife, Mary, and it had a lot of tropical birds. So if they had tropical birds, they could have gotten some
They could have got a
monkeys,
monkey in there.
And cryptozoologists believe that it could be some type of Bigfoot, possibly, because, you know, cryptozoologists, they're trying to like also have some rationality. They're not all going off the rails, as some of you think. They're like, it could have just been like a Bigfoot type creature, and you're seeing it in this area, and you're like wanting to connect it to August Rubel. But a lot of them say like, okay, here's one theory, but also this seems like something we've never seen.
It doesn't have a lot of Bigfoot characteristics. I mean, it throws rocks. Bigfoot throws rocks. Bigfoot has
Definitely
been known to slam on cars, and
especially the one in a Goofy movie.
especially the one in the Goofy
Listen
movie.
to like his disc
Well, you
man on
can
top
tell
of
by
the
the way I
car.
use my walk, I'm a walls man. No time to talk. That was always my favorite scene too when I was a kid.
It's the best. I
Big
love when he does the sock
surprise.
puppets.
Oh my God. Something happened to me that was so wonderful. It was like a week ago. A girl that I went to Lutheran school with, her name's Jacqueline. It was Jacqueline Stack, but she's married. I'm so sorry, Jacqueline. I don't know. None of the women in this story, I'm going to know your married names. I'm so sorry. But her name was Jacqueline, and she posted this like funny TikTok of this girl talking about like, hey, if you were a girl and you grew up in the 90s, you 100% performed witchcraft at sleepovers. And she like tagged a bunch of us in it. And so we started talking in the comments.
I love that.
And all of these girls, now women, were like, Ashley, like the Ouija board at your house was no joke. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad I'm a core memory for so many people.
That is the best. Like,
but then
what
also
a moment.
we were talking about how, and I like totally forgot about this. They were like, do you remember like we used to perform like lies of feather stiff as a board, but we would also like make potions and shit at recess. And I was like, girls,
Yeah.
we were performing witchcraft at Lutheran school. That's
literally
so
witchcraft.
metal. We're so metal.
You were making potions and doing light as a feather, stiff as a board. Like you were doing spells. You were making potions.
Yeah.
You were performing witchcraft. Laura
Absolutely.
LaRue would be so proud.
Laura would be so proud of me. Yeah, so apparently this has been me since day one.
And we're here for it. I mean, if you weren't doing light as a feather, stiff as a board at your sleepovers, like, you seem kind of lame. I'm not going to lie.
Apparently I was doing it to girls on the playground outside of our church on this like weird old bridge that we had. So
gosh, you're the best. That is really, really perfect. Okay, to like kind of wrap this up, is what I thought was interesting was you could just chalk this all up to urban legends so easily. Obviously it's fun to talk about, but like who actually knows? But what I did enjoy was going on to weirdcalifornia.com, and they had a whole article on it that you can go read. And like Weird California has
Love
like
Weird
amazing
California.
yeah, like amazing articles on everything, but like a really good cryptid section too. And that's where I kind of discovered the Billiwhack Monster. So like go read it. They go into even more detail than I just did, like even more on August Rubel and his family, and like just have a fun time with it. But it's so fun to read the comments on the Billiwhack Monster post, because a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like I went to this location and like it just feels so weird, and like everybody is just like, it's a dark, strange place. And like if you get up close to the dairy, it looks like there are things stuffed into the walls that like people haven't been able to like get to. But there was a theory that August hid a bunch of money in the walls, and like again, it's just like all part of his OSS urban legend, and like all this like secret cash that he had that he was maybe leaving to his wife or to his family, or that he was just hiding in general. But like everybody just chalked it up to urban legend. But then people in recent days have gone and said like there are areas of the walls and the floors that are like bulging, but you can't get close enough to like actually dig them up, I guess. I don't like, you have to go read the comments. It's so exciting. But all I have to say is there are people who are visiting it today that say like there are weird like howling sounds. There are strange like big boulders that are like out of place that do seem like they've maybe been thrown. The dairy itself just like has a darkness about it. There's maybe cash in the walls and floors. Like also go like get some money.
Go check it out.
It's just a crazy place.
Wow.
It seems like there could be something to it, whether it's an actual monster or not, which I like to believe that it is a monster wearing, now I want to think of it wearing a disc man and dancing on people's cars, but something is lurking.
Something is out there in Santa Paula. You know, it also could be, you know, he's dealing with the CIA. This was a little too early. Well, I don't know. Tesla was testing electricity that early, but I was going to say maybe it could be a flap area. It could be a situation where like he ripped a hole in space-time and these are interdimensional creatures that are spilling out through the tunnels. Just another theory to
I do like that.
put on top of the pile.
Ashley always has the best theories, which just makes it.
I read a lot of
That's why
books.
cryptids are fun. I love it. It's so fun to just think like, what were people seeing?